Welcome, everybody, to the Loan Officer Breakfast Club. We are thrilled to have you this morning. Hey, drop in the chat where you're tuning in from. If it's your first time, say, hey, it's my first time. We want to welcome you to the morning show. And so Carl, myself, Kristen, Krista, Jen, we're excited to have you. Chris Johnstone, we've got a special guest with us. We've got Model Matches in the house. So excited about that. And hey, you know what I was thinking about, Carl, yesterday? Owen talked about volatility. And, I wrote down, I'm always writing down words, and it was like volatility.
Mm.
And the next thing that was next to it, because he was talking about the uncertainty of the market
Yeah.
and these huge swings up and these huge swings down. And you know what I wrote down? I wrote down a couple of words. Predictable activity
Mm.
produces predictable income.
Mm.
And you know how you get rid of the volatility? It's not, you can't control the market, but what we can
Mhm.
control is the activity we do each and every day that we know produces a result.
Mm. Yeah, there's you know what I've come to find out. I've been thinking about this for about the past week. It's just in my head that and this sounds like a cliche, but it's really a genuine thought that's been going through my head, is we can literally have anything that we want
Yeah.
as long as we want it bad enough that
Mm,
we're willing to do what it takes to have it.
mm,
And that's really all this is. And
that's right.
and that can't be said maybe for no, I take that back. I was getting ready to say, I couldn't say that about the fine young man that happens to work at 7-Eleven. But that's
Hmm.
not true, because if he wants it, because I used to work at not 7-Eleven, but I used to have
An
a
egg
minimum wage
washing
job.
factory. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to wash eggs for a living.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what? I think if we have enough brains, and this is a real thing, right? If we have enough intelligence to turn on the Zoom meeting this morning,
Right.
we have enough Look, being a loan officer is not what I would call, and I get it. There's a lot of really, really smart people. Most are, but
Yeah.
it's not a necessary ingredient. You don't have to be smart. I think you have to be hungry. You have to know who to target, and
Yeah.
you have to know what to say. Which,
Hey,
by the
and,
way, you know that stat. I tell you another thing
so
that gets
good.
my mind. I
So
was
good.
I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, "Hey, I'm trying this. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working." Which is one of the reasons why we're having Tom on here today. Is that only 4%, on average, only 4% of real estate agents have a referral to give to you.
Mm.
4%.
Hey,
Four.
isn't that interesting? Because all the discouragement is they don't like me. I keep doing all this activity. But what the truth, if you go all the way up, you keep calling it upstream and upstream and upstream to the
Yeah.
source. The source is they don't have it to give to you.
Yeah, you know what it is they're in a field of oak trees trying to get an apple.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get an apple in an oak
You're not going to
tree.
get an apple from an oak tree because it don't
No,
have one to give to
you
you, no
can
matter
shake it
how
all you
awesome.
want, and it's
Yeah,
not
you can do
dropping.
all you want and
Yeah.
talk to it and take it to dinner and send it flowers and chocolates and everything. It's got no apples to give to you. So I think that's
Yeah.
a yeah. Because I think you hit on the nail on the head. There is the biggest poison of going after people that don't have anything, that don't have business to give to you.
Yeah.
Right? Is it in my mind? It poisons my head. They don't like me. I'm not good enough. I see
Yeah.
Brad knocking out of the park, but I'm not Brad, and Brad's, an awesome guy, and I'm just me, and I'm just normal, and I'm not good enough, and maybe I ought to
Mhm.
tap out and go back to my old job, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
Which is just a travesty. They're just going after the wrong people.
That's it.
And not that they're wrong people per se. They're just not people we can get referrals from.
Right. Hey, well, that's why I love what we do here at the Breakfast Club. And as a matter of fact, I'm doing a master class today where we go into depth on how to add 8 loans in 90 days without doing the cold calling, without buying leads. And we're talking about this exact thing. And hey, so it's at noon today, Eastern. Jen, drop in the chat if you guys are interested in that. Sign up for the master class. Hey, Carl, you know what it is? It's not their fault. They didn't know. It wasn't our fault. And it's like
100%.
what happens is that's what I love about the Breakfast Club and coaching and masterminding together is we get further faster simply by learning by others who are further ahead. And it's like, hey, look at what Carl's doing and look at what, Chris has done and you start implementing it And now you're not fighting the negativity of, oh man, it's just not working.
And you know what's equally as important, I think, is like I hang out with my brother Chauncey, and Chauncey will say, "Hey, dude, hey, I might be doing good now, but dude,
Yeah.
let me show you what I did to get here. And boy,
Yeah.
whatever you do, man, you
Mhm.
might want to stay away from this thing." So I like it that we can be honest and open enough,
Yeah.
to share our
Yeah.
blunders.
Yeah.
Like my biggest blunder, I've made some doozies. One of my big blunders is I ended up hiring one of my best referral sources away from the bank that she worked at, and
You
that was
lost
just
your referral source and ended up losing the employee.
we call that a special kind of stupid where I come from.
Wow.
So
That's
just
interesting.
insane. So hey, whatever you do, if you're going after a credit union and you're doing business with it, don't
Yeah.
hire the main person that's referring them to you from the credit union. They might not appreciate that. So I learned hey, I was young, I was wet behind the ear, and I learned my lesson, and I got spanked accordingly,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
So
I
All
just
right.
I want to make sure everybody knows that master class that you're doing today, it's open to everybody, right, Steve? Like you don't have
It
to be a
is.
member to attend that.
Yeah, that's correct. It's a
Okay.
free live Zoom masterclass. Go to newmmamasterclass.com, and we're going to talk about how to fund 8 loans in 90 days and create a predictable income. And so, really excited about it. I think it's going to help you. It's a lot about what Carl and I were just talking about. How do I get the uncertainty? We feel without a process, and there's only 5 things you've got to do, like very simple to implement. We call some of it hunting and farming, but it's like when you know the process and it can become predictable, you take the ups and downs out. There's no
mhm.
more roller coaster. It's do this, you get this. And the only question you're really asking yourself is, will I steward the decision I'm making every day to show up? And that is pretty empowering. So today at
Yeah.
12 p.m. Eastern, or noon Eastern, whatever, 12 p.m. Eastern.
Today.
Today, sometime today. Just go. All right. Hey, Carl, you know one thing I want to do, and we got Tom with us with Model Match. Before he does that, I'd love to hear, drop in the chat, what are you grateful for today?
Mm,
What's one thing that you're grateful for? It's so important to start with gratitude and so much to be grateful for, but
mm,
would love to hear that. Some of the things, your wife, I love that.
mm,
Let's see here. My Bible study that's this evening. That's awesome.
my health.
Yeah. Oh, my latte. Thanks, Amy DeBusk. I love
My
that.
grandkids, which
Yeah.
we're having a what do you call it? A
A
baby
gender.
shower here at
Uh,
my house on Saturday. So we
his
got
name is Thomas White, isn't it?
his name is going to be, well, I guess it is now, Charles Thomas White.
Charles Thomas White.
Yeah, so
Man.
that's my
That's a strong
I
name.
had some people I did a little post, I don't know, about a month or so ago, showed a little sonogram picture. I forgot to clarify. No,
It wasn't yours.
it's not me and Maria. Yeah, I just so I said,
Carl and
"Wow,
Maria are
Carl,
having a baby.
that's a surprise." No, 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 no. I'm it's my first grandchild. So
Oh, congrats.
anyway.
All right.
Oh,
Kelly, I
wait,
see that.
Deanna Bryant says so many things, but today, 3 closings.
Let's
Mm,
Nice.
way to
go.
go.
Let's go. Um, I see that. Eileen, every day I'm grateful for the freedom I get from this job, 23
Mm,
years in.
mm,
Man, isn't it so important to be grateful?
mm,
Sometimes it's like when everything's hitting you, we just got to step back and say what I'm grateful for. Sharon
mm,
Wofford, the support I have here at work or where I work, and health
mm,
and a grandbaby coming today or tomorrow.
mm.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Hey, funny story about Sharon's grandbaby. She doesn't know the name. She won't know until after the grandbaby's born.
Yep.
Very
And
good. Well,
Eddie Skinner's got a
It's a
6-week-old
secret.
grandbaby. There's lots of grandbabies in the chat.
Oh, I love it.
And
all right,
The Rock says not having kids to hold me back.
Rock, we need to talk. We need to talk, buddy. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk,
Hey,
buddy.
Eddie Skinner said, my wife of 39 years and first grandbaby 6 weeks old. Man, Eddie,
Yeah,
that's
Nice.
awesome.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time.
All right. Hey, Carl, who do we have with us today? Come on.
So we have a dear friend of mine, Mr. Thomas Seelbinder. And by the way, what a freaking awesome name, Seelbinder.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Navy SEAL or
The helicopters are coming.
Yeah, the Black Ops are coming down.
Yeah.
So
is that how you describe it? An awesome name? I've heard it spelled all types of ways, said all types of ways. You nailed it though. You nailed it though, Carl.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Well, it's good to see you, brother. So
It's good to
tell
see
us
you,
tell us a little bit about what you do and how you're making things so much easier for us.
Yeah, first off, I just want to say incredible community that you all have going on here. I've been a part of a number of these. It's 8:30 or 8:40 now on the East Coast, and we have a ton of people in here. So that's awesome. It's amazing to see a community of this size wake up and jump on a Zoom at this time in the morning. It's awesome. You should, I love seeing the MMA inside of the what you're grateful for. If I was on here every day, I certainly would be grateful to have a community like this too. It's fantastic. So my name's Thomas Seelbinder. I'm the head of product at Model Match. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Model Match, you can call us a market intelligence platform. We live and breathe mortgage transaction, real estate transaction data, collecting data going back to 2017. So I've been living inside of this world, technically since 2014, 2017 really ramped up as we talk about all of this data that we have access to. And so Model Match took all of that data and we put it inside of a nice platform where we had built actually prior to data even being available, and started working with our lender partners, loan officers, leadership, and other verticals of how we can leverage all of this data that's available to us out there, the loan officer data, the real estate data, and how we can leverage that to really bring a new level of accountability, efficiency, focus to who we're building relationships with, whether it be on the loan officer side, right, or whether it be on the real estate side. So being able to quickly identify the agents that are active in our market. Carl, you mentioned, that 4%, call it 4 to 6% of real estate agents are actually closing, call it enough business for our attention to say, hey, this is someone that I want to engage with and build a relationship with, and it could be a really good funnel and source of referral business. So in the grand scheme of things, right, not to be like dramatic, but there's not that many out there that really fit as it relates to not only volume, how much they're producing, but also as it relates to them, being aligned with your value prop. And so the quick and dirty of Model Match is how can we provide all of this data, provide it to you at an affordable rate so you're not having to worry about what your monthly budget looks like. So you ultimately can use this data to go out and get that next loan, right? So been around for quite some time. On the recruiting side, actually, of mortgage prior, recruiting software specific to the mortgage industry, and then ultimately transferred over into this side of things on the software side as well. So born and raised in technology, and been with Model Match since Model Match was just an idea before it was a platform. So now I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you. I do see some familiar names on this call too, so I think some folks on this call are going to see a familiar screen here. This is one portion of Model Match, right? I think it's important to note the difference and what makes Model Match stand out from other market intelligence platforms that deal with similar data is that we've always known that this data without action is just simply numbers on a screen. It almost means Nothing, right? It's great that we can see an agent. It's great that we can see a loan officer. It's great that we can see this agent did $68 million, right? Top buyer agent inside of Charlotte. It's fantastic. But if we don't do anything with that data, right? Well, it's just numbers on a screen. It's just kind of cool to look at and it looks pretty and that's that. So Model Match has always believed and built our product around the idea that you need to be able to take action on that data, whether it be you got to be able to build a list and not be restricted on how many you can add to that list, how many you can store on that list, how many you can engage with, whether it be exports, right? Getting that data to a spot where you actually work, you have already invested in other technologies, you like that technology, you want to take and leverage this data inside of that technology, right? You should be able to do that. And so we've always taken a really flexible approach when it comes to looking at this data from the actionable standpoint versus just I'm going to build you all a really cool chart and it's going to look pretty and it's going to have pretty colors. Now, that's not to say we don't have pretty charts. I'm like everybody. I like pretty charts. I like to build them. So we definitely do. And what you're seeing on your screen is our market insights tool. This is probably, if you're on this call and you've used other platforms in the past, this is probably going to be the most familiar part for you, right? You're in here, you can search inside of an area. Like I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina here. I have all these agents that are showing up inside of this list. You can jump into a particular agent. We have a ton of date ranges so that you have full control as it relates to being able to segment, break down an agent or loan officer. You could be analyzing a competitor of yours. How many loan officers have they onboarded? How many loan officers have left? Where did they go? Right? We go all the way back to 2017. So we give those to you nicely chopped up, make it super easy for you to click on one, run the report. We also give you custom date ranges too, and all time. So a lot of that flexibility, right? Whatever you want to be able to see, for the most part, right? You should be able to segment that. So you get a lot of information, and we're just looking at this agent here. Most importantly, right, for you all as a loan officer, and it's no different than when we're talking about biz dev, we're talking about recruiting loan officers. Reaching out to an agent is no different than what happens when we're talking about recruiting a loan officer. We're all recruiting, right? We all have the same outcome. We want to reach out, build a relationship, we want to engage, and we want to find if we have alignment, if we have synergy, and if we do, right, we're going to do business together. So as a loan officer reaching out to an agent, right, you have the same goal. The outcome that you're looking for is the same. So you need to be able to see this data and be able to see it in such a way that it's going to tell you, it's going to start to paint that picture. Now, you're always going to have to engage. Don't early disqualify, right? Don't look for a reason to disqualify, right? But you're going to be able to get that data, put you on the path to better understanding, is this agent aligned with my value proposition, right? What makes me special as a loan officer? Well, I want to find referral partners that are active, right? We just did that. That's great. We have an agent who's active, right? Severely active, actually. And now we need to better understand that, when we start to engage, we have that confidence going into that conversation that we're aligned with this agent. We want to do business with this agent. We can do business with this agent, and we're aligned on different levels. And I'm going to show you how you can find out where you're aligned here in just a second. And then, of course, right, we're talking about this right now from the standpoint of I don't do business with this agent today, but that I very well could be doing business with this agent today. And what I can do now is I can jump over, I can look at their relationships. I can see the originators that they're working with. And what can I do now? Well, I can start to understand how I'm stacking up in this relationship, right? So if this is a potential referral partner, I now see all the originators that they're working with, and that's great. I can see the company that they're currently with. I can see the volume that they're doing together, the units, average loan amount. And that's great. That's awesome. We've all if you've been using data like this, you're used to that, right? That total number, right? But I go back to my comment about accountability, right? Efficiency, time is everything, right? We don't want to spend too much time in here, right? We want to come in here, get on that path, yes or no. This is someone we want to engage with or not, and then we want to move on, right? And so great, I can see a total number and I can get a pretty good idea, right? I can see the originators that they work with. Do they work with a lot of brokers? Do they work with a lot of retail, right? Do they work with credit unions? Do they work with banking and loan officers, right? All of that, of course, is in there. But then what makes Model Match really special is that this isn't the story, right? This is only a fraction of the story. Great. I know that this agent works with this loan officer and this is what they did together. And maybe I'm somewhere on this list if this is, one of my referral partners. So I now I know, right? I know how much business I'm capturing, and then I sort of know now what my opportunity is, right? In software and sales, because that's my total addressable market. I know what my ceiling is now, right? How much I'm not capturing. And if I went to 100%, this is what I could capture. But it's only a piece, right? And so if you come up here, you can see if I click on filters, you can then start to break down these relationships all the way from loan types, specific loan types, all the way down to specific markets. And it's really just being able to click add filter, select what you want to filter by, and everything would update for you. And what this really starts to paint, what this picture starts to look like isn't just this agent and these LOs. Right? It's this agent and these LOs when it relates to FHA business. So if you're an FHA heavy loan officer, if that's your thing, you're all about first time home buyer, right? Before you pick up the call, before you pick up the phone, before you look to engage with that potential referral partner, does this agent even work with first time home buyers? And if they do, how much? If they're FHA heavy, if they work with a lot of loan officers that are very similar to you that kind of stack up where you are in your market, that's fantastic. Now we're getting closer to understanding whether or not we have alignment with this loan officer, right? If this loan officer works with a lot of bank LOs, right? And that's sort of outside our wheelhouse, right? That's not where we are. That's not what we're focused on, right? We might have some misalignment that's happening, right? So being able to even go all the way down to the market, I actually see this happen quite a bit. And I have a story about one of our loan officers that's using Model Match quite often, actually helping one of their borrowers identify an agent with these filters by simply going in and looking to see, is this agent number one active in this market, right? Who are they working with in this market? And that was a veteran. So is this agent familiar and experienced with VA buyers, right? And then being able to provide that referral agent to the borrower just simply based on, okay, I can see their relationships. I can see all of this data. It's great. 90 million, 46 on the buy side. I can see 44 on the seller side. That's great. I can see how many LOs they work with, but where do they work with those LOs? In what markets, what types of LOs? And it sounds like a lot, right? Like you hear me talk about it and you're like, wow, these are a lot of metrics and a lot of different ways we can, pull this data. That seems really complicated, right? But it's literally just add filter. What do you want to filter by? Let's filter it. Let's update this report. So if you want to stay high level, is this agent active? How many buy sides? How many sell sides? Where are they active? That's great. I can see that top county, right? I can see how much of their business is mortgaged. But if you want to just peel back that additional layer, right? Because let me tell you, your pipeline isn't, 1,000 agents. It's not 5,000 agents. It's probably 250, 300, depending on your territory, right? That are truly aligned with what you're looking for. And they're going to range, right? Kind of, middle tier, lower tier as it relates to volume. And then of course, high tier. But there is that group, that small manageable group that you have alignment with. And just using simple filters like this is going to help you really
Hey, so
identify
Thomas,
who
on
they are.
the
Yeah.
on this platform,
Yeah.
like I know I think I've literally, to my knowledge, I've used all the platforms, right? Because because of what I do, we're always looking to see which was the best one. And on this one, I can on any given day or any given minute, I can go look up loan officers production and I can go look up at real estate production. Like that's not a tack on. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's all included. Real estate, mortgage, all of it.
Okay. And what's is there a limit to like how many how many I can like if I'm looking to build a list and looking to put into a
Yep.
funnel or a marketing campaign that I'm having. Like our brother Chris Johnstone has a fantastic CRM, that we recommend. Is it, what's how many agents, qualified agents, or if I'm a recruiter for loan officers, how many qualified loan officers can we download per day?
There's no limit on a daily. So you can add directly into we call them pipelines. You can add those directly into your pipelines. And there's no limit to that.
Yeah. And I'm never one much to be, harp so much on price, but I literally,
He never harps on price, except
don't, because
now.
I'm not,
He literally is like, dude, it's
I'm not a price guy, because I believe in
right.
write small checks, cash big checks, right? If I look, my first service I bought that was similar to this
Yeah,
was $2,500 a month.
a month. I know.
And
Yeah.
I would pay that in a New York second. Like, it was worth it. I did it for, I don't know, a year and a half before, I had other options, right? And no hard feelings with the guys that would charge me 2,500. I was a happy customer, right? I was. It was a fantastic service. Now I can do it for like, and you guys will see it when you go to the exit page here. It's what's your entry level on this thing, Thomas?
Hey, Jen.
Oh,
Whoop, you muted yourself. You muted yourself, Steve.
Oh, I was going to say, Jen, drop it in the chat too,
Okay.
where they can go, because some people may be wanting to go
It's
look at it.
it's what is it? $29 for the
Yeah,
base
it's
model?
$29. That's right.
$29 a month. That's
That's
the
it.
lowest you can get.
$29, and
Yeah.
so is the starting point. I know you got a couple different tiers, and each one gives you a little something different. But and the other thing I like that you guys do is you don't make me decide today. It's a free trial. And so I put in my information, and I think, what is it, like 2 weeks? I can use it, I can download, I can do anything that I want to. And then it's at the end of the 2 weeks I make my decision. Hey, do I want to keep doing this? Or hey, this doesn't do what I thought it did, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it gives, like, I get their name, I get their company name, I get their production levels, what kinds of loans they're, what kind of are they high end, are they low end, are they first time home buyer? And I also get like their contact information many times too. Is that correct?
Yeah, whatever we can find for you, you can get that.
That's
Yeah.
We'll
amazing.
display that to you.
Hey, Sharon, you have a question, Sharon?
I do. Can you demonstrate how you go into a realtor and then break down what loan officers are using for what products? I was listening to the podcast on the way in, so I know a little bit more about this, and I was curious about that.
Yeah, I can show you real quick. Let's see. Let me share back real quick. So you can look at their loan officers here. Just looking at this agent filters, loan types. Let's do. We can click on FHA, VA, right? And then you can see when you break that down, we're just now that whole report updated, and we're just looking at those individuals there.
Very interesting.
That's
Yeah. And
hey,
So I could
do
look to see if they're using one particular lender for VA, and if so,
Sure.
then
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
interesting. Which is why
Yep.
I just finally got it. That's why I call it model match. Does their model match my model?
mm,
Cause like in my case, if I'm not a big jumbo guy, right? Nothing wrong with it. I think it's a great niche. It's just not my niche, right? It might be Chauncey's niche, might be Ryan's niche, just isn't mine. And so I could go and look on there and go, hey, if they're primary doing jumbo deals, I'm probably not going to do much with that person, because it's just not where an area that I'm necessarily overly competitive compared to some other people. So good stuff.
Yeah.
Was that helpful? Was that helpful, Sharon?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Greg, you had a question?
Yeah, my team just started using Model Match, and it is very, very probably the best user interface I've used on any system tracking. But the one thing that I've learned at MMA is to look at agents by their buy side volume. And so if I'm not looking for a specific agent, I haven't figured out how to say go to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and say, show me with everybody who has 8 or more buy sides in the last 12 months. Is that something we can do with Model Match?
Yeah, today you can filter by if you click on, so if you do a market search and then you'll click on add filter, you can segment total volume in the last 14 by buyer. So if you go to total volume, or it's just volume, you'll see listing, and then you'll see buyer. And if you just click on buyer, you can segment. So out of the box, we do filter too by buyer. So if you do just a straight market search from top to bottom, that's your top buyer agent by volume. You can also sort that list as well by buyer units. So you can get the top agent by buyer units or sort that list
Like
that way as
let's say I
well.
want to target agents that were anywhere from 10 to 15 buy sides, right? Not the super whales, but the mid-level ones that are actually doing business.
Yeah.
Can I figure out every agent in that range in an area?
You can, yeah. Why don't you
Okay,
and I'll
awesome.
take your name down. Why don't you and I we'll communicate and we'll get you what you're looking for.
I would
Appreciate the
love
kind
that.
words too. It's fantastic to hear that
It's
you're
the
using
best
it.
system I've used. It's just the best thing.
Awesome.
Good to
Thanks,
see you,
Awesome.
Greg.
Hey, and by the way, if you go to the URL is, I think I got MMAmodelmatch.com, MMAmodelmatch.com, and you get special pricing there you won't get anywhere else. So if you go direct to the website, Thomas was kind enough to give us a special link. He offered to write me a big check, and I said, well, why don't you write a small check and give the discount to the members, right? And actually, he doesn't even write me personally a check. And Yolanda, what you got?
Yes, and thanks for this. So two quick questions. How does this differ from like the Rudder we have used for some time? What capabilities do you have? What does this tool have compared to the Rudder that we're familiar with? Number two, I know that Rudder has like an open house function where you can see who is doing an open house when. Is that available with Model Match? Thank you.
Yeah, great questions. Great questions. So, as it relates to just market intelligence, in general, what makes Model Match stand out is that we didn't start off in this space as it relates to all this data. We started off in this space as a way to help our lender partners manage their recruitment efforts when it came to full doc hiring, prospect, all the way through hire. So it really started off as a kind of a base layer CRM, if you will. And then data came after the fact. We made that investment in data when data really started becoming more available for wide scale collection. And with that, I think the difference in mindset as it relates to we don't want to be referred to or known as, and we try our best not to be, just simply a tool that allows us to visualize data, right? We want to be that platform that you can use to truly take action on the data that you're seeing. And so that's why we have features and tools such as pipelines, the ability to make an outbound phone call, right? Store all your history, have that level of accountability when it comes to reporting so you can report back and say, how many agents have I called in the last 60 days? What was the outcome of those conversations? Right. So it's a lot of those tools that allows you to not only collaborate if you have individuals who are supporting you, but also that ability built in, if you want to use our tools to do that, to take action on that information.
And for me, I mean, just being totally transparent and nothing against all the other services, they're great services, right? Most of them are friends of mine. This one's half the price, and there's the others limit me. I can only download so many per month. This is unlimited. So I can go there, frankly, I could go there during my free trial and pillage away, right? So there's no limit, and it's half the price, and I think it's better. So we compared them side to side, and we got more data off of yours, Thomas, than with the other. But the others are great services, right? I'm not going to sit here and throw rocks at anybody because they're awesome. They're great services, and frankly, they're all providing a great service for the loan officer community. And frankly, anybody that does that is a friend of mine. So I love they do it. Thomas, you just do it for half the price and don't put a limit on how fast I can grow my business. So that was the biggest difference for me.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a couple questions here, and I know we're at the top of the hour. Chauncey, what you got?
Hey, thank you so much, Carl. And thank you, Thomas, as well. Two questions for you. One, do you have any integration with any CRM systems? If so, what are they? If I missed that part, sorry about that. Second part, with the clients, let's say this one here, Gillian Carter, for example. I'm sorry, realtor, Gillian Carter. I'm able to go in detail and see which houses actually did sell, like I could see in Redder. Do I have access to that information as well? I can see, okay, this person sold to this person. So hypothetically, when I call that agent, I can say, hey, let's say if this was a refinance world, which right now is not, right? But let's say if it was, I can say, hey, could you connect me with these people here? I can see if I can help them save some funds.
Yeah, absolutely. So we also show you one thing I didn't show you was the raw transaction details that you can see on an agent as well. You can see, of course, their active listings, but you can see all the transactions that they've also closed. You can click on those. You can even view the property history, so you can see, if those, mortgage and real estate history on those properties as well. And we also have a tool that you should check out too inside of Model Match called Pulse AI, which will automatically generate those connections to agents for you. So it'll show you automatically, these are the agents that you've worked with in the past, the listing side by side. You can segment it. They have active listings. Maybe one of your borrowers listed their property. This is the agent that currently has that active listing, right? So we'll feed you that information so that you can see, again, like you said, when you pick up the phone, you already know what the history is, right? You already sort of have the answers to the questions that you're about to ask. We feed a lot of that to you through raw transactions, easily seeing them, right? Kind of line by line in the table, and then through tools like Pulse AI, which really feed it to you automatically.
And as far as the integration, I hope it's okay to say this. I hope this is okay. I might be letting the cat out of the bag. But the LOCRM is myself and Chris. We're changing where we get our data for the LOCRM, where it's going to be tied into Model Match. We like, well, just from a business standpoint, we like anything. Look, if I can buy gas for half price somewhere, it's where I'm buying my gas, right? And we like the idea that of not having the limitation of how fast you can grow. That you'll be able to run these into the CRM. So, I'm sure there's others. Hey, I got a quick question, Tom. Somebody just asked, how often is the data updated?
Yeah, we collect data daily. So we get that daily, we run it daily, right? It goes through audits daily. As with all data, just there is of course some markets that take a little bit longer than others, but we get and collect data on a daily basis.
Yeah, impressive. Robert, what you got? And then Tanya, we got you, and then we'll close this out.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Carl. Thomas, great service you have here. My issue with Redder is, I focus on CRE agents, so commercial agents that are doing investment properties. I'm not getting that with Redder. How are you offering this, or do you offer this with Model Match?
I think you and I need to have a conversation. Yeah, this is something that we have. I'll say this: we are internally experimenting with a lot of different metrics and attributes that live within this data that I don't think have really been focused on, and so aren't segmented out, aren't pieced out from it. And you can derive a lot of really cool scenarios just based on transactional history. So I'm going to take your name down because I think you and I should have a conversation about what you're exactly looking for. And I can share some of those experiments that we're running, and you might be able to put me on the right path to get you. Either I might already have it and we just got to kind of piece through and find it. Or you might be able to verify some of the experiments that I'm running on my end. So
all right,
you'll hear from me.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'm not limited to just one state. I'm doing the loans nationwide on, investment and commercial. So I need, agents that are doing activities 8 or more and across different regions across the country. So that'll be very helpful for me in my business.
That's awesome. Yeah,
all right.
That's awesome. You'll hear from me for sure.
All right. Very good. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Robert, he has your information.
I didn't ask, He
didn't say, "Hey, I need your phone number." He's got it, so he'll call you private back end line here in about 5 minutes. So obviously kidding. So, Miss Tanya, what's going on, my friend?
I was going to ask you on Redder. I noticed that the information is not always correct. It usually is taking them to the main office. Is that a little bit different? And then also, did I hear you say that there's tiers, like $29.99 is one level and there's extra levels? What are the difference?
Yeah. So, it just depends on when it comes to the agents as it relates to their, kind of main, where they're located. Agents, of course, a totally different world when it comes to that exact information. So unlike, NMLS, which we know exactly, where you hang your license and all that sort of stuff. So always that's a like an ever evolving sort of game when it comes to that location information. So definitely take a look at Model Match. You can get that free trial, and then you can see what the differences there are. I'm not familiar with like their information specifically. And then what was that second question one more time? I apologize.
I think I heard them say it was $29.99, but there's
Sorry.
different.
Yeah.
What are
Yep.
the different?
Yeah, so $29.99, $29 a month. That'll get you access to all of the most recent data. So if you want to go in there, search for agents or even LOs, you can get 6 months, year to date, 14 months, 12 months, and then we give you a last fiscal year. So you'll get everything that I showed you today, right? With the except for all the date ranges. That's perfect if you want to get familiar with the data and you really care about what they've done more recently. And then you can go up to 129, which for you all is across the board, right? So it's everything, building unlimited lists. You can export from those pipelines, get them into a CSV file, all the date ranges, you get Pulse AI, you get listing alerts, all of it included from 129 a month. So and then there's a middle tier. If you just want access to all the date ranges, if you want access to the pipeline so you can build up that list, so you can have that accountability for yourself, you can export at that level too. You just get some different data on those exports. So you can go from 29, most recent, 79, right? You can start to build out those pipelines, and then you can go to 129, which will give you everything that we offer. So it's kind of like the all you can eat at the 129. So whatever you're most comfortable with, and it scales with you. If you want to start down here and move your way up when you get comfortable, that's why we have those options for you.
And 29, you cannot export, correct?
That's correct. At 29, you can't. Yes.
But at 79, you can.
Yes.
Unlimited.
Correct. Yes.
Which
No
is
limits.
half price. Yeah, it's
Yes.
I love it. I tell you the other thing I like about you guys, again, just being totally transparent. It's nice. I know Chris Johnstone and you guys have been talking a little bit, and he called up and said, "Hey, I'd like to import into your system, and hey, but I need this and that, this and that." And you guys said, "Hey, I'll be right back." And a couple days later, he called back, "Hey, we made those changes that you needed, and we're good to go." And so I like the way, and just now, with our friend that does a commercial, man, that's a great idea. Let's get on the horn. Let's work this. Let's figure this out. And so I like the idea that it's kind of like Burger King, like collectively as a group, as we come up with ideas of hey, boy, wouldn't it be nice to have this? And Thomas says, "I'll be right back." So I like the idea that you guys listen and don't just fit me into whatever cookie cutter you happen to have built. That you listen to us and listen to suggestions and make suggestions. So good stuff, Thomas. Great to see you. Chris, close us out, brother.
Okay, thanks, Carl. Hey, real quick, brother, I really like what you got going on. I do have a question with your program. So Utah is a closed MLS state. So unless you're a realtor and appraiser, you can't pull the MLS data. I'm an agent, so I can go in and I pull down through Rapid Stats, the top producer, my qualified agent list. Can we import that? Because then I know for a fact that's 100% accurate data. Can I import that? And then it comes as a PDF, and then that way I can track my agents and do all that.
Not today, but definitely stay tuned on some future I'm going to call that like enrichment of the data. So stay tuned on that. However, that said, I do have data in Utah, a fairly good amount of data there. I don't think it's not one of those markets that I hear about where we have to investigate often at all, right? So I definitely have data there today on the real estate side and the mortgage side.
Great stuff. Hey, Tom, thanks, Thomas. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. I'd love to have you back on again. And then we're also going to be putting some training information into Model Match. That hey, once I download this list, what do I do? I know Chris Johnstone with the CRM. There are tons of stuff in there to help out. And then I'm going to be putting some modules in there about how do I connect with these agents and what do you say and how do you get them to start working with you. Just knowing who the top producers is one part. The other part is like, how do I do it now? Like, what do I say? How do I get them to work on them? What email do I send out? What text do I send out? So we're going to be working with Thomas on some of that stuff too. So MMAmodelmatch.com. So, all right. Hey, good to see you, brother. And dude, I didn't know you was in Charlotte. I was just there Sunday.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit north in Hickory.
Oh yeah, I know exactly. Yeah, I'm in High Point. Oh, I'm in
Yeah.
Florida
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time, but my daughter lives in High Point, and so we go up there. I don't know, 1 week a month, something like that, and
Yeah.
go hang out there. So
Yeah.
next time we're in Hickory, I'll look you up, brother. Love to
Yeah.
have
Yeah,
you treat
I
me.
mean, that would be fantastic. And that goes for anyone here too, right? If I have any Western North Carolina people here and you're in the area, feel free to call on me. I'm always happy to meet. I'm always happy to network. And Carl, you better call me for sure.
Drinks are on Thomas. So anywhere there's
drinks
a free
are on
drink,
Model
I'm
Match.
in.
I have a credit card. We're good.
All right, gang. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us. I know we ran a little bit over. Today's Wednesday. Today's past database day. If you need some quick loans like right now, past database is always the way. If I get on the phone with Jen, I get on the phone with Kristen, say, hey, I need some loans this month. What do I do? I guarantee you they're going to tell you to look in your past database. That is the fastest, easiest loans that you'll ever find. So make sure you're calling on your past database. You need some help with the scripting. We're way over today. Feel free to hook up with Jen, Kristen. They'll walk you through it totally for free. We do the free trial just like Thomas does, and I think that's just the way to do things. Yeah, if you're confident of your product, let them try for free, and don't make them come in for a 12-month contract before you even take a peek in the door. I think that's just totally uncool. So, all right. Hey, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for what you do. Thanks for being a part of what we're doing. I'll play the outro music, but I don't have it set up, and so we'll just have Kristen sing us out. So take it away,
No, we
Kristen.
won't.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Thomas.
Take care.
This was really great.
Of course. Thank you. Take care.
Everybody.
Have a great day, everybody.